The wisdom of flow, learning to move with life instead of against it. There's an old saying, a river does not force itself through the rocks, it finds the smoothest path. And yet, how often do we fight against the natural currents of life? We push, resist, and struggle, only to be met with frustration and exhaustion. We convince ourselves that if we try harder, push further, or demand more, we can bend life to our will. But is this truly the way forward? The Stoics, masters of wisdom and resilience, offered a different perspective. They taught that fighting against what is outside our control is futile. Instead, true strength lies in knowing when to persist and when to let go, when to take action and when to allow things to unfold naturally. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote, "What stands in the way becomes the way." At first glance, this might seem like a call to smash through every obstacle, but the deeper meaning suggests something more profound. Rather than resisting, we can learn to navigate life's barriers with wisdom. The strongest individuals are not those who fight the current, but those who understand how to flow with it, adjusting their course as needed. If this resonates with you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Now, let's get started. Imagine a traveller lost in a dense forest. In his panic, he pushes forward, blindly, crashing through the undergrowth, becoming increasingly entangled. But if he stops, breathes, and observes, he will notice natural openings in the landscape, paths already carved by time and nature. By following these, he can find his way forward with far less struggle. Life is much the same. The more we force an outcome, the more resistance we create. The more we embrace what is, the more effortlessly things fall into place. This is the art of effort without struggle, movement without desperation. It is the wisdom of knowing that some doors open with ease while others remain closed for a reason. To find peace, we must understand that not everything is meant to be forced. Let's explore how the Stoics mastered this delicate balance and how you too can cultivate resilience, patience, and the power of allowing things to unfold in their own time. Lesson 1. The power of letting go. Imagine grasping a rope, pulling with all your strength. The harder you tug, the more resistance you feel. But if you let go, what happens? The tension disappears. Life is much the same. We hold on tightly, gripping relationships, expectations, ambitions, thinking that if we just try harder, we will make them work. Yet, as Epictetus reminds us, some things are up to us and some things are not. The key is knowing the difference. Letting go is not about giving up. It is about releasing attachment to outcomes we cannot control. A farmer does not demand rain. He plants, waters, and trusts nature to do the rest. A musician does not force a melody into existence. They allow it to emerge through practice and patience. A sculptor does not wrestle with the stone, but follows its natural shape, carving along the lines nature has already placed. Think of a river. It does not fight the land. It does not attempt to rush past obstacles or force its way through unmovable barriers. Instead, it follows the natural course, flowing effortlessly where gravity leads. Similarly, we must recognize that not everything is meant to be forced. The more we push in a direction that is not meant for us, the more struggle we create. Resistance creates friction, and friction leads to suffering. If we force things, we may become blind to opportunities that arise naturally. A business deal that falls through might be clearing the way for a better opportunity. A relationship that ends may be making space for deeper, more authentic love. A failure today may be the foundation of tomorrow's success. The Stoics teach us that every closed door is an opening to something else. Our task is to discern when to act and when to allow things to unfold. There is a time to plant seeds and a time to wait for them to grow, a time to speak and a time to listen, a time to push forward and a time to step back. Trying to control every aspect of life is like attempting to hold water in your hands. The tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. But when you hold your palms open, the water rests there, unforced, at peace. Ask yourself, where in my life am I gripping too tightly? What am I afraid will slip away if I loosen my hold? The truth is, what is meant for you cannot be forced away, and what is not meant for you cannot be held onto forever. Trust in the ebb and flow of life, and you will find that letting go is not an act of loss, but of liberation. Lesson 2. Flowing with life instead of against it. Lao Tzu, a thinker often compared to the Stoics, once wrote, "By letting it go, it all gets done." The ocean does not fight the wind, it moves with it. Trees do not resist the storm. The more flexible our mindset, the more readily we can seize the right moments and void unnecessary struggles. The act of surrender is not about giving up. It is about finding alignment. By trusting the flow of life, we cultivate patience, wisdom, and resilience, the very qualities that allow us to thrive, no matter where the current takes us. Final thoughts. Learning to trust the flow of life. The river does not force its way through the land. It finds the natural openings, carving a path over time. Likewise, when we stop pushing, stop resisting, stop forcing what is not meant to be, we open ourselves to opportunities that arise naturally. Let go of the need to control every outcome. Flow with life rather than against it, and in doing so, you will find that life unfolds with far more ease, grace, and fulfillment than you ever imagined. The flow of life, mastering the art of balance, patience, and letting go. Introduction. The river's wisdom. A river does not battle against the rocks in its path. It does not force its way forward with brute strength. Instead, it weaves and winds, finding the path of least resistance, shaping the landscape over time rather than fighting against it. Yet, as human beings, how often do we resist the natural currents of life? We push, we struggle, and we force things into existence, only to be met with frustration, exhaustion, and disappointment. The Stoics understood this principle well. They did not believe in passivity, nor did they advocate for surrendering ambition. Instead, they embraced a profound truth. Some things are within our control, and others are not. By recognizing this, they found a way to live in harmony with life's ever-changing currents rather than constantly fighting against them. Marcus Aurelius famously said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." However, this does not mean we must always smash through obstacles with relentless force. There is a deeper wisdom in knowing when to persist and when to yield, when to act and when to wait. Imagine a traveller lost in a vast and tangled forest. If he panics and blindly forces his way through, he becomes even more ensnared. But if he stops, observes, and follows the natural openings in the landscape, he will eventually find a path. Life operates in much the same way. The more we try to force an outcome, the more resistance we create. The more we embrace what is, the more naturally things fall into place. This is the art of effort without struggle, movement without desperation. It is the difference between swimming with the current and exhausting ourselves fighting against it. It is the ability to recognize that not all doors are meant to be forced open. Some remain locked for a reason. To cultivate a life of resilience, peace, and fulfillment, we must learn this delicate balance. Through the wisdom of the Stoics, we will explore how to let go of resistance, embrace life's flow, and develop the patience to allow things to unfold in their own time. Lesson 1. The power of letting go. Picture yourself holding a rope, pulling it with all your strength, trying to drag it toward you. The harder you pull, the more resistant you feel, but what happens if you let go? The tension disappears. Life is much the same way. We cling to relationships, expectations, and desires, believing that if we just try harder, we can make them work. But Epictetus warned us that some things are within our control and some things are not. The key is knowing the difference. Letting go is not about giving up. It is about releasing attachment to outcomes we cannot control. A farmer does not demand the rain to fall. He plants, waters, and trusts nature to do the rest. Likewise, we must learn to surrender where we have no power. This does not mean we should stop caring or putting in effort. Instead, it means shifting our focus to what is truly within our grasp. A musician does not force a song into existence. They allow the melody to emerge naturally through patience and practice. A sculptor does not wrestle with the stone, but follows the shape it suggests, carving along the lines that nature has already placed. Think of a river flowing through a valley. It does not fight the land, nor does it try to rush past obstacles. Instead, it finds the natural course, flowing effortlessly where gravity leads. Similarly, when we push too hard in a direction that is not meant for us, we create unnecessary struggle. Resistance creates friction, and friction leads to suffering. If we force things, we often miss the opportunities that arise naturally. A business deal that falls through may make space for a better one. A relationship that ends may free us to find deeper, more authentic love. A failure today may be the foundation of tomorrow's success. The Stoics teach us that every closed door is a redirection, not a dead end. To practice this, consider where in your life you are gripping too tightly. What are you afraid will slip away if you loosen? Life is much the same. We take action, but we must also know when to let go. The best outcomes arise not from force, but from a balance of effort and surrender. Push forward when needed, step back when necessary, move with the current, not against it. Trust the unfolding of your journey. When we stop trying to force life, we open ourselves to greater peace, wisdom, and fulfillment. We learn that happiness is not in chasing, but in allowing. Let go, trust, flow, and watch as life unfolds effortlessly before you. Lesson 6. The wisdom of letting go in relationships. One of the most challenging lessons in life is learning to let go of people who are no longer meant to stay. Many of us resist change, clinging to relationships long after they have run their natural course. We believe that holding on is a sign of strength, but in reality, true wisdom lies in accepting the impermanence of human connections. The Stoics understood that everything in life is transient. Seasons change, rivers alter their course, and even the strongest mountains erode over time. Relationships are no different. When we attempt to force permanence onto something that is inherently temporary, we create suffering for ourselves. The tighter we grasp, the more resistance we create. The Stoics remind us that our peace should not depend on external circumstances or other people, but rather on our ability to accept the natural flow of life. This applies especially to love and friendships, which flourish best when they are freely chosen rather than forced. A relationship built on mutual respect and admiration will endure not because we demand it, but because both individuals genuinely want to be there. By letting go of the illusion of control, we cultivate healthier, more authentic connections. When we release the need to dictate how long someone stays in our lives, we give them the freedom to grow, evolve, and make their own choices. Ironically, it is this very freedom that allows relationships to deepen and strengthen. Just as a plant can be overwatered to the point of suffocation, a friendship or romance can be smothered when we refuse to allow it space to breathe. Much like a garden, relationships require patience, nurturing, and trust. Some connections bloom into lifelong bonds, while others are meant only to last for a short season. This does not diminish their value. A tree does not mourn the leaves it sheds in autumn, nor does a river weep for the path it once flowed upon. Nature accepts change as a fundamental truth, and we must learn to do the same. Instead of resisting, we should approach relationships with gratitude, appreciating the time we have with others without clinging to the idea that it must last forever. When we shift our perspective from attachment to appreciation, we unlock a deeper level of peace. Every person we meet leaves an imprint on our lives, whether they stay for decades or only for a brief moment. Some bring us joy, others teach us lessons, and many do both. By focusing on what we have gained rather than what we have lost, we free ourselves from the pain of longing for what once was. Letting go does not mean forgetting. It does not mean discarding the memories or pretending a connection never existed. Rather, it means holding onto the lessons and the love while releasing the need for things to remain unchanged. When we do this, we open ourselves to the possibility of new relationships, fresh experiences, and unexpected blessings. There is a quiet strength in allowing life to unfold without resistance. The wisest individuals understand that love and friendship cannot be forced. They must be given room to grow or dissolve naturally. Every relationship, whether short-lived or long-lasting, plays a role in shaping who we are. Even those that fade away leave behind something valuable, a lesson, a memory, a piece of wisdom that stays with us forever. Detachment, when practiced in a healthy way, is not about emotional coldness, but about resilience. It is the understanding that endings are not failures, but necessary transitions. We suffer not because people leave, but because we resist the truth that nothing in life is permanent. When we embrace this reality, we become stronger, more adaptable, and more at peace. Rather than fearing the end of a relationship, we should trust that every transition serves a greater purpose. Some people are meant to accompany us for a lifetime, while others enter our lives only to teach us something before moving on. Recognizing this allows us to love without fear, to give without expecting return, and to cherish each moment as it comes. Just as the ocean's tides rise and fall, so do our connections with others. Love should never be about possession. It should be about presence, about appreciating someone fully in the moment, rather than trying to control their future. True love, whether romantic or platonic, exists in the freedom to come and go without resentment or force. Letting